The first thing we need to understand that, sir, here you mentioned a particular term called errors. So what kind of errors you are going to talk about? Means in accounting treatments, usually how come the errors going to be happen, and why do we need to rectify those errors? To understand that, we first need to understand, sir, how the errors going to be occur. How? I want to give you first clarification how the errors occur. To understand that how the errors are going to be occur, we first need to understand that what are the different types of errors should we have in the accounting treatments. Usually there are two types of errors. Number one, errors which do not affect to the trial balance. You can see in the screen, errors that do not affect to the trial balance. First. Second type of errors are errors which affect to the trial balance. Means you can understand that there are few errors we did in journal entry. The error follow through at ledger as well as follow through trial balance. If found the errors, then we try to rectify before trial balance, sometime after trial balance. Okay, but some cases we found that the errors is even not identified after trial balance. Question arises, sir, why things happen like that? Why the errors couldn't be identified, but is unidentified even after trial balance? Let me tell you one thing. So I just give you a simple basic understanding. Suppose there is an error. Suppose we are doing a particular journal entry where I have to write X account debit to Y account. Just try to understand. Okay. So we have to write X account debit to Y account, 20,000 rupees in the debit side as well as 20,000 rupees in the credit side. Listen to me very carefully. So what we need to present here? We need to present here X account debit to Y account, 20,000 rupees in both the sides. And now what we did, currently writing 20,000 in debit and credit side, I am going to omit one particular zero in both debit side as well as credit side. Means what is my mistake, what is my blunder is that I didn't write the particular zero in both the sides. Means I, instead of writing 20,000, I am going to write 2,000 in both the sides. So bhai, it is a definite errors. There is a definite mistake I did. But question is, sir, is this the error will reflect into the trial balance? Is this you can found into the trial balance? Could you identify the mistake in trial balance? Practically by trial balance, no. The answer is no, because we got an equal amount of mistake in both the side, debit side as well as credit side. So this kind of errors, what is a two-sided errors? Two-sided errors at the same amount, mostly unidentified at the time of trial balance. So we have to understand there are few errors it has in this particular journal which is unidentified. Okay. Now it is more important to do the rectification of errors, because these errors, it will gives you wrong calculations. These errors, if you continue with this account with this particular errors, this accounting treatment is not right. It will gives you wrong understanding about the account. So we need to rectify this. The process being very simple. First, number one, cancelling the effect of wrong debit and credit by reversing it. Number one. Number two, restoring the effect of correct debit and credit. So let me again brief you in a very simple statement. Cancelling the effect of the wrong debit and credit by reversing it, and restoring the effect of correct debit and credit. Let me show you what does it mean. Let me tell you what does it mean. Suppose the first point, cancelling debit and credit. Okay, look at just a minute. The first point, cancelling the wrong debit and credit. Okay, so this is the first point, cancelling the wrong debit and credit. Okay, so let me tell you, sir, cancelling the wrong debit and credit means what? In very simple sentence, very simply, if you understand, sir, cancelling debit and credit means, suppose you have wrongly written X account in the debit side. Forgot everything. You have wrongly written X account in the debit side. Say the amount is 200. Okay, and you know this is a mistake. X account in the debit side, whatever you have written there, it is not right, it is wrong. You know that. Now how could you rectify this? How could you rectify this? In a very simple way you can rectify that. You have written X account in the debit side. If you want to rectify this, you have to write that X account in the credit side. Means at the rectification journal, you have to write this particular X account with this particular amount, 200 rupees. Instead of debit side, you have to write in the credit side. It will be 2X account, rupees 200. This is point number 1. Listen my friend, the point number 1, it is cancellation the wrong debit and credit. What we are doing here, it is we are going to cancel the wrong debit and credit. X account debit which is given 200, this is a wrong statement, means it is a wrong journal. So you have to cancel the debit side, you have to write it into the credit side, 2X account. At the same time, if you suppose written the X account into the credit side wrongly, to rectify that you have to write the X account into the debit side. In this time, if you have written the X account in the credit side, suppose you have written 2X account which is wrong by mistaken. So you, to rectify this particular 2X account in the credit side, you have to write X account in the debit side, X account in the debit side to the rectification journal. So I believe you understand that when should we need to write the X account in the debit side at the rectification journal, when should we need to understand the X account in the credit side in the rectification journal. We just only need to remember, if you want to neutralize the value of X account which you have written wrong, if you have written it wrong in the debit side, you have to write in the credit side to the rectification journal. Again, if you have write it wrong in the credit side, you have to write in the debit side to the rectifying journals, because you want to neutralize the value of X account. This is step number 1. So as per the step number 1, we have to cancel the wrong debit and credit. This is point number 1. And coming to the step number 2, if you are looking to the account, coming to the step number 2, it is written very simple: restoring the effect of correct debit and credit. Means restoring the correct debit and credit. What is this? Restoring the correct debit and credit. Restoring the correct debit and credit. Okay, so how could you do it? Restoring the correct debit and credit. To restoring the correct debit and credit, suppose you know that you got a mistake, means instead of X account it should be Y account in the debit side. The actual correct journal, it should be Y account in the debit side. It should be Y account in the debit side with an amount of 200. Fine, you know that. So the correct journal, suppose I just give you an example, you better understand. The correct journal, suppose it is Y account debit to cash account, 200 debit as well as credit. Okay, listen to me. The correct journal is Y account debit to cash account, 200 and 200 in the debit side and 200 in the credit side. Okay, that is the correct journal. What you did, you have done a wrong journal. Your wrong journal, what you did, suppose you did, instead of Y account debit, suppose you have written X account debit, X account debited to cash account. Suppose you have done 200. Now at the time of rectification, following the rules, the first rules, eliminate the wrong. Eliminate the wrong means anything you have done it wrong. Suppose here you have done it wrong, that you have written X account in the debit side which is a wrong. So I marked it and we need to eliminate this. How could we eliminate it? In the rectifying journal, the first thing, this X account, since you have written in the debit side, it will be written in the credit side, 2X account. Step number 1, eliminate the wrong. Step number 2, eliminate the wrong and establish the right. Establish the right means what? Here in the right journal you have to written it Y account debit rupees 200. In the right journal you have to written Y account debit rupees 200. So you have to write here Y account debit rupees 200 to X account. Why? Again I am telling you, Y account debit, because according to the rule, eliminate the wrong and establish the correct. Eliminate the wrong means X account debit, it was a wrong treatment. To eliminate this, you have to write in the credit side. That's why it is going to be X account to X account. and establish the right. Establish the right means you have to write the Y account, which what is the correct journal, the Y account in the debit side. Now there is a question, a lot of students got a mistake. I found to rectify this particular journal, a lot of students also intervened the cash account. That is the mistake they had done, mostly, because they thought that in the wrong journal they are writing X account debit, but they don't look at that they are not writing the cash account in the credit side. They are writing the cash account in the credit side, which is right, which is not wrong, because cash account, according to the journal, the cash account should be in the credit side. This is not a mistake, this is absolutely right. But sometimes students misunderstand that. Sometimes they thought that in the journal the actual accountant got a mistake in both the sides, so they are trying to intervene the cash account also. Means sometime at the rectifying journal they are going to write Y account debit 200, to X account 200, even to cash account 200, even to cash account 200. Sometime I found it. But I believe that students, now you need to be a little more cautious on it. This is absolutely a wrong treatment. Cash account shouldn't be there by anyhow. You might have a question, sir, why not cash account? Since always remember, at the rectifying journal you need not to intervene any particular account which you have not done any mistake. Like the wrong journal, you got a mistake in the debit side, means you write X account debit instead of Y account, that is a mistake. But if you are looking to the cash value as well as the cash account, we both have written cash account in the credit side with the right amount. What is the right amount we need to establish in the right journal? Means rupees 200. That means we don't get any mistake in the cash account, we don't get any mistake in the credit side, until and unless you shouldn't intervene this particular account. If you did any mistake, then you can intervene. But here, without any mistake, if you are intervening this particular account, means you are redoing the mistake again. So I request, please remember that. Now coming to the rectifying journal, the rectifying journal is going to be Y account debit to X account with the amount of 200 and 200. Okay, so sometime, okay, I was going to give you a little more brief. You better understand, sir, you have already established a wrong journal and now you are doing the rectifying journal. So actually what you are trying to do, now I'll show you something. With the addition of wrong journal and rectifying journal, we need to check if the wrong journal is A and the rectifying journal is B. So always remember, this A plus B must be equal to the value of C. C, what is C? C is the correct journal. C is the correct journal. Let's see that whether this A plus B is equal to C or not. If A plus B doesn't represent the value of C as well as doesn't represent the actual C, that means we are not doing the correct rectifying journal. Let's see whether we are doing it right or wrong. You have a wrong journal which is X account debit 200 to cash account 200. You have a rectifying journal which is Y account debit 200 to X account 200. Okay, now if you are going to add this A plus B, let's see what is the correct result. You can see X account is in the debit side. X account is in the debit side of a wrong journal with the value of 200. In the rectifying journal, X account is in the credit side with a value of 200. It means debit and credit is auto eliminated. Same amount, same value, it is neutralized. So let me delete this. Just a moment, let me delete it. I want to delete it. X account debit and credit is completely going to be eliminated. Okay, debit and credit neutralized. So what is the outcomes? So the outcome is Y account is now in the debit side and to cash account now is in the credit side. Look at that. So the final outcomes is equal to Y account debit rupees 200 and to cash account rupees 200, which is equal to the correct journal. Y account debit to cash account 200. It means the main point we need to understand that A plus B, it must be, that is equal to C. I believe the basic construction of rectification of errors is absolutely clear by this particular video. I know there are a lot of different calculations in the rectification of errors. For that you need to wait for my next video. I never approach anyone to like, share and subscribe, because I only believe, students, if you really like, then only you like. If you really think this program is going to helpful to you, then only you subscribe, and it will really helpful only and only if you focus on it. Okay, on the regular basis I am uploading videos. Just my motto is to construct the basic constructions of accountancy and different subjects. In different subject, what is coming in my guidance, my knowledge, I trying to make it develop for the students. This is the ultimate motto. I believe the concept of rectification is being cleared in this particular video. If you really like, then please wait for the next video. In the next video I will going to discuss some difficult, I will going to mark some difficult rectification of errors, and I will present you how to do it. Okay, I hope it is a very constructive and helpful video to you. Thank you very much. Thank you for all your participation. Love you all. Okay, bye bye.